Hey guys, my name is Gomez, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about for loops in Python. So the idea of loops is common in almost every programming language. In Python specifically, we have and for loops. In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can create a for loop in Python and how you can use it to iterate over sequences in Python. Examples of sequences in Python include Python list, tuples, dictionaries, including strings. So if that sounds great, let's get started. So I'm here in VS Code. You can use any IDE that you have. I also like to use PyCharm sometimes. So to get started, what I've done is I've created this file for loops. By this time, I think you know how to do these things, so I won't waste much of your time discussing how I've created everything here. So I'll just show you how you can create a for loop in Python. So to create a for loop in Python, just remove this code here. And we can start here. So to create a for loop in Python, first of all, you need to have a sequence. So in this case, I have this sequence, which is a list object, as you can see. And I have tuples here. I have a tuple, which contains elements of a tuple. I should just say that. So I have this, and I'll show you how you can iterate over these objects. So to create a for loop in Python, you start with the word for and a value, in this case a variable. In this case, you can name it anything, but because we want to iterate through student's object, call it student. So student in, we use the in keyword and then the sequence name. So it's students. So students. And then we end that statement with a colon. And once I press enter, like if I'm using an IDE such as VS Code, it will iterate, it will indent for me automatically. If you're using, for example, Notepad for some reason, then you have to include 4 spaces, which will be equivalent to this, and which is the standard. So in this case, what I want to do is just to print the student. So student, and if I run this code, you can see that, let's just wait a little bit, and you can see that it has printed the names on the screen. Basically, first of all, it goes through the list and it takes the first element, and then it comes again, the second element, the third element, the fourth element, until the last element. With for loops, you don't have to keep track of the counter. It does that automatically for you. So now that we've iterated over the student's object, let's go ahead and do the same thing for the tuple. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll say for age in student ages colon, hit the if I hit enter, then it will automatically indent for me. Then I'll just say print age. Okay, so you can name this variable anything. You can really name it anything. So if I run this again, it will print. Okay, so this is for the first loop, but the second loop starts somewhere. So we have 12, 23. 18, 12, and 34. So that's what is inside this tuple. So we can also do the same thing for the SKU name, where we want to iterate the this string. So what I'll do is we always start with the for keyword and then avoid a character, because since we are iterating through a string, we are going to get individual characters. So it will be for character in school name, okay, then colon, hit enter, and then I'll print the character. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to run it again and let's see what happens. Just wait for the output. Did I do anything wrong? Okay, so I'll run it again and you can see that it has printed the characters here. And yep, so this is how you iterate over in Python using a for loop. So one thing you can do is use the for loop to calculate, for example, the summation of let's say a certain list. For example, in this case, I can say, okay, let me use a for loop to calculate, let's say, the summation of this. I can also say, let me use a for loop to calculate the average. So you can try to do that. I won't do that in this video because I don't want it to take too much time. So that's it for this tutorial. Until next time, take care.